What is up, Wretched Nation? Today, let's talk about this dyna we just picked up. If you watched the last video, you saw I picked this bike up. I was like an idiot and didn't bring the helmet mounted GoPro because I wasn't supposed to ride this back. But we had some issues with the truck. I just said screw it, hopped in the car with the wife. She took me up there. We rode this thing 2 hours back, and it's a beast. It's set up great other than the suspension. They've got these slammer shocks. And let me go grab a tape measure and see what these shocks are. Alright, so I just measured them real quick, and the shocks actually measure 12 inches, which is kind of weird. But they definitely feel, it definitely feels low. I don't know if the front was lowered or not. I hope it's not. But I've also never ridden, you know, 05 lowrider, so I don't know what it's supposed to feel like. But we're going to throw the 13s from my bike on there, because I'm not super pleased with them. Nothing that really wrong with them, but I just want to go a different route. And instead of spending, I wanted to put 13-inch shocks on this thing anyways, and instead of spending, you know, some money for that, I'm just going to throw the old Road Glide shocks on this, take those off, and throw those shocks on here. That way it would just be easy to get rid of those shocks, and instead of spending a couple $100 on this to give this bike away, we're just going to get what we want for my bike. So why not? Honestly, I kind of would prefer to just like sell this one and keep that, but this one's pretty ragged out, and while it's also cool, I still love it. Will I get rid of it one day? Maybe. But for now, we're going to keep it. But the simple things are, I haven't decided if I'm going to take these off. They kind of get in the way. They don't provide a bunch of comfort, and I feel like the aesthetic would be a lot better if they're not on there. So not sure about that. Shocks are going to change. This is coming off. I already promised somebody they can have a luggage rack. The little tail light cover is going to come off. And these bags right here, or this one bag, is going to come off. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these mirrors. I haven't decided yet. It's got a J on it. I don't know if that, I think it's a J. I don't know. I don't know if that's Joker Machine or what these mirrors are. I haven't even looked them up. But not a big fan of them, but I'm not sure that I'm going to spend any money on mirrors. So I might toss them, or I might keep them. I'm not sure. But yeah, this bike's pretty good. It's got a RB Racing LSR exhaust, nice performance exhaust. It's got Performance Machine rear and front calipers and brakes. So old dude spent at least $1,000 on that. That's pretty crazy. But overall, this bike is nice. If you didn't watch the last video, that was advertised as an 06. So that would have been the first year of the full fuel injection with that crummy 6-speed. And then we got there, looked at the title. It's an 05, but with the factory fuel injection. So this was an option. So whenever this bike was bought new, they paid more money to make it a fuel injected bike, and it still got that nicer 5-speed. The 6-speed is just kind of weird. It went with basically a 5-speed setup with an extra gear in the middle somewhere, because it's still a 1-to-1, I believe, in the final gear. It's not overdriven. Now this bike is overdriven, and that's a whole lot better, because you have your main 5 gears, but once you hit it in 6th, you're really only putting in 6th gear for that highway, and you get decent fuel economy, and you're not revving the engine out so bad. Yeah, this bike is sweet. We're going to take some things off, do whatever, but I wanted to kind of show you guys the bike in its purest form that I got it. It's super clean, got an amazing deal. So I think we're going to raffle this off. I haven't ironed out the details, but comment down below what you think. You know, should we raffle it off? How much should we raffle it off for? But in my head, I think we're going to do like some tickets. You can order them on, you can do it online. You know, I'm going to deliver this bike at probably up to 500 miles from me, and that's free. And if we need to get it shipped, I'll work with whoever wins it, maybe split the shipping, I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out. But I think I'm also going to offer a cash payout if you do not want to get the bike. Like, let's say I live in North Carolina, so if somebody wins it, maybe in California, and they're like, you know what, that's a big hassle, just cash me out, and I think I'm just going to give them $5,000. So either way, you can win. It's going to be good, and I'm excited. The bar setup, I'm thinking it's stock. I know it's a Harley clamp. I don't know if it's the stock riser, but the bar looks like a Harley bar. It's not bad. I think it's solid mounted. I think they went in there and did solid mounts because it shakes like crazy but does not flex at all. So that's not bad. If you went with just a little taller riser, or if they just changed the riser and bar setup completely, the ergonomics isn't horrible. The seat's not horrible. So it's not all bad. It'd be a perfect start for a wheelie bike. You don't have to worry about doing anything to a carburetor. The only thing you would really have to do from this standpoint, if you wanted a seat, you could. Changing out the shocks would be a good idea. Then, of course, the oil pan mod, change that out. But overall, this is a pretty good bike. We might take some stuff off, do whatever, and once we get it to where we want it, we'll ride it, see what we think. Alright, YouTube, here she sits. She looks a little different. We took the sissy bar off, changed out that big chrome seat bolt to a black one. We took off that stupid chrome cover. See, we took off the bag, took off the forward controls, took off the, the cover for the air cleaner. I can't really show you the air cleaner because it's very suggestive, but we threw up a DVD on there, you know, a little something special. But let's hop on this thing and ride it. Alright guys, so the original plan was to raffle this bike off. My original plan was to raffle this thing off and get some money to get me a stunt bike over the winter. Well, the plans don't always go the way they're supposed to. I love this bike, but what really stopped it is the wife came out while I was taking all that stuff off, and she really likes this bike. I had a Sportster at the beginning of the year, if you look back and watch some of those videos, and I tried to teach her to ride on that. She rode it around a little bit, but she just didn't like it. Pretty top heavy, and it just didn't fit her very well. She didn't really care for it. But this bike, when she sat on it, she was flat-footing it with no shoes on. Like I said, she just come out and sat on it while I was messing around with it. And she flat-footed, no shoes on. She was super comfortable. Her back was straight. Everything was exactly where she wanted it to be. Now that being said, I was like, oh man, if she really likes this thing, I really like this thing, you know, maybe we do need to keep it. But I don't need 2 dynas. So I think we're going to keep it. I'm really happy with it. All the stuff that has been done to it's pretty cool. The exhaust is a little bit too long and low for me, but you know, we can maybe change that out at some point. The seat's pretty good for her, and it's not horrible, but it doesn't put me in the position I want to be in, and it doesn't have much of that lumbar catch that I would be looking for if I was going to try to learn wheelies on this thing. So it definitely would need to have some stuff replaced. I would have to keep it somewhat simple if the wife is going to ride it. But overall, this is a perfect basis for what I want to do and what she wants to do. So maybe we just do keep it. It is definitely way too low. The tires were a little low on air. So I pumped him up. It definitely rides better now than the 2-hour ride I took back from Winston-Salem. But it's still not good enough. It needs more height. I'm thinking about putting like 13.5-inch shocks on it, or like some 13s. That's an inch, but I would have to assume that if they're a little bit tighter, that it's not going to sit as far down. So the overall like sitting height will be a little bit higher. So I think that's going to be the route to go. It does have Joker machine, or Performance machine. I think it's Joker mirrors that I want to get rid of. But the Performance machine brake calipers in the front and the back. That's $1,000 in brakes. It does brake very well. It does have the tack and the speedo. That's kind of cool. Overall, the bike is just a nice bike. I mean, I can't really complain about anything other than just it being really low, but that's just the setup. I don't think I can really practice any wheelies with this thing. Even if I were to get it up a little bit, this seat is not going to hold me, I don't think at all. I tried a couple times and it just spins like crazy. So it's not set up for that at all. And the rear tire, I don't know how old it is, but it's pretty close to needing a tire anyways. A couple burnouts later and not a whole lot of tread back there. But overall, you know, this is a really nice bike. I'm pretty sure those are solid bushings in there, because this thing will vibrate on you. There's no flex at all, which that's good. Look at the vibration it has. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but it definitely vibrates in the handlebars, which I'm fine with. As long as those bars are solid, I'm cool with that. I would like to get a little bit higher riser and a different bar setup eventually. But I really do like this bike, so what's going to lead us to do is we're probably going to raffle off the Y-Glide. I don't need both of them, and this is what I really want to be focused on right now, is getting something to be able to throw around and have a, I wouldn't even say a stunt bike because I really don't know how to do that. Well, let's just call it a hooligan bike. That's what we're after right now. We have the Road Glide, so why don't we have a hooligan bike? It's got a little cage set up on it so the wife can learn, and if she drops it, who cares? You know, we're not going to mess the bike up. And just have some fun. The Wide Glide isn't really going to be set up for that. We could kind of turn it into like a fast bike, like kind of like a amateur drag bike, but I don't know, that's not what I really care about, so we're just going to raffle that off. I had one dude who was kind of interested in maybe buying it. He went to the bank and tried to crunch the numbers, and that didn't work out, so I think we're going to fix my Wide Glide up. Really the only thing it needs is a good tank and a fresh coat of paint. So some friends of mine, they paint. They told me if I bring them all the tins with a good tank, they paint it for $600. That's all the supplies and everything. That's not bad. And I can't really, unless I can find a decent tank, which is really hard to find, that's going to be the best option. And then I'm thinking, you know, if I go that route, and I feel like I can sell some good raffle tickets if the bike has got a fresh coat of paint, it's looking good, and I like tinkering with the stuff, so I think that's going to be fun. So let me know down in the comment section, what do you think of this new bike, and what do you think about us raffling off the Wide Glide? It's a 2010 Dyna Wide Glide. It's got a full stage 1 Bassani road rage exhaust, R1S Big Sucker 2. It's got the tuner from Fuel Moto. It's the Power Vision, and the tuner's going to come with it. 13-inch shocks in the rear. Let's see, what else does it have? It's got 30,000 or going on 32,000 miles on it, I believe. Not too bad. No motor work.
Nothing extreme I ever had to do to it. Never left me stranded. It does have the super lightweight battery that I don't know if I'm going to leave in there or not. I don't know if I might pull that out. If it fits in this, I might yank it out. I'm not sure. It probably doesn't. But it also has a chain kit. It's a pretty aggressive chain setup. But being a long 6-speed that it has, it'll still pull the 120 no problem. And with the chain on there and the better ratio, that thing will get down. Man, it'll get down. Yeah, that's about it. This video kind of went sideways for me because I didn't plan on keeping this bike. So I guess for now, we're going to kind of jump over to the Y-Glide for a project. This was supposed to be our project bike, just to do a couple things, raffle off and make some money, but now we got a Y-Glide to attend to. But we're going to have 2 bikes we're going to kind of work on. I can't really do much with this bike right now just because of money. And I think the first thing I probably need to get for it is a crash bar so the wife can kind of learn to ride. With its current setup, I don't think I'm wheeling on it at all. But I could still maybe learn to do some other things. A little bit more bike control and sliding would be fun. But either way, we got bikes to work on, and I love that. So drop a comment down below. What do you think? Is it a good idea? It's a bad idea? I don't know. Currently, I'm thinking maybe $60 a spot, like 200 spots, and maybe do a cash payout for that Y-Glide if somebody doesn't want the bike. Thinking about maybe doing like a $5,000 payout. So if you buy a $60 ticket, the raffle fills up, we pull your ticket, and you're thinking, man, I don't know, I think I want the cash. Alright, take the cash. $5 grand, yours. So that's what I'm thinking. So please like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hopefully we got some good stuff coming. But as always, keep it wretched.